Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to do a little detailing on the trunk of the WRX. So I taped it off. I'm sure you've all seen this detailing video 100 times. Tape off one side. We're going to polish one side. We're going to leave the other side as a comparison. So here's a quick look. We already removed the wing because it was in pretty bad shape underneath it, and the wing been on there for a couple of years. You can see there's some marks here from where the wing was in contact with the paint. Paint's pretty scuffed up. I know it's kind of hard to see on here, but I'm sure you can see most of those scratches. When we took the wing off, there was a lot of there was some sealant and some tape and stuff underneath it. So went ahead and cleaned that off with a little WD-40 to get the it was almost like a windshield sealant. Got that off. Clean the paint with some rubbing alcohol, and so it's ready now. We're going to give it a polish. The left side I'm going to polish with the machine. We'll compare the two, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, guys. So we got it all set up here. We got some products. Got the polisher. We're going to clay the car first. I always try to clay anything before we polish it. Just keeps your pads from getting clogged up so quick, and makes it a lot smoother. I mean, you can usually hear. I don't know if you guys can hear that on there, how rough the paint is. It's like contaminants off, overspray, tree sap, that kind of stuff that settles on the paint over time. So a quick claying, that'll clean that up a bit, get ready for the to get polished. So I'll go ahead and do that. Cue the time lapse. All right, so just use a little quick detailer, the clay bar. We'll wipe this down now. Now we got all that contamination off there, that heavy grit. So when you're doing it, you can feel it. You'll feel it lift and start to slide a lot smoother. That's when you know you pretty much got it. You don't want to put any real pressure on it. You just end up putting in more scratches than you're taking out. And you want to let the clay do the work. So you just glide it over. Like I said, if you've never done it before, you'll know right away when you feel it. You feel it start to slide a lot easier, and it doesn't catch, and you kind of feel the grit underneath it. So now that we got this all nice and clayed, it's nice and smooth, it's ready to get polished. We're going to use, let me get some products, hold on. So I like the Menzerna products. We got some 3000, we got 3500, and then we got a finishing glaze. Sometimes we'll use this, the 3-in-1. That's kind of a one-step polish, light polish, glaze, and wax in one step. Good for real light scratches if you're not, trying to make too many paint correction or anything like that. Obviously, the lower the number, the more aggressive the cut is. So 3000, 3500, not very aggressive. So, and this paint's pretty shot. So we'll start with the 3000. They also make a 2500 and a 2000 if you really want to get into a much more aggressive cut. So we're gonna put that on here. I use a Groups Bigfoot 15. This is a Mark II. I'm going to use a yellow pad. Pardon, my pads are a little dirty. So that you got to prime these pads when you use them. Always make sure you shake your product. Probably use a green pad on this, which is a little more aggressive. But you're going to do a couple pea-sized shapes. And then to prime these, just put on a real low setting. Leave it on your paint. Just let it run for a couple seconds. About 10 to 15. That'll prime your pad. Alright, so we're going to use, you don't need to use too much product. A lot of the times you'll see detailers, they use a certain amount. It's really, feel how you work with your machine and how you work on the paint. you know, like the products themselves, it really depends on the detail. So I'm going to use two spots on here. I'm going to do cross hatch, forward and back, and then across, and then we'll go back in and go real slow and cut it. Usually try to do like an inch a second or so, just nice and slow, and we'll do this step, and then we'll go into a finer and finer, and we'll see the finished result in a little bit. Cue the time lapse. And don't be afraid if you think it's not cutting. You can kind of see it's starting to get a little blue on here, which is cutting pretty good. If you feel it's not cutting the way you want it to, use more pressure. Try using a little more product. Sometimes you need a little more of that grit and that product on there to make that cut. So far it looks pretty good, so we're going to continue. I'm going to continue the crosshatch. We'll wipe it, we'll see how it looks. It may need another pass with this because it's not that aggressive, but so far so good. Alright, so we made one quick cut on that. Let's clean it up a little bit, see how it came out. Now with a somewhat aggressive compound like that, you're probably going to have a little bit of haze here. You know, literally light scratches from the grit in the polish and from the cutting that you've been doing. But you can, I don't know if you can see it on there, I'll show you in a little bit, but that is way better than that. Removed a lot of that oxidation, a lot of that surface scratching. There's still some scratching in here. This is no show car, so we really don't need to go too crazy on it. A lot of the marks around where the wing came out, still some there, but a lot of the imperfections are gone. So I'm gonna go to the machine polish. I'm gonna do this, and we're going to put on some power lock, and then actually maybe I'll just put some wax on here. We won't go too crazy on it. So I just want to touch up one spot here where the wing must have rubbed a little harder than in the other spots. So let me polish that quick. Hold on. Going to need a little bit more product, a little more pressure in that one little spot, just because the scratches are a little bit deeper. Remember, always keep the machine moving. I usually put a mark with a marker on the pad itself, so you can see that it's still orbiting. You don't want to stall it. You push too hard on it, you'll stall the head, and it'll kind of just shake instead of actually, orbiting and spinning around. So just make sure you don't push too hard. So if you need more product, you can always use more product. There's nothing wrong with using more product. Can you use too much? Absolutely. It just ends up clogging your pads a lot faster, and then you need to change them. I usually use, if I'm going to do a whole car, that's much better. If I'm going to do a whole car, I usually use on a polish or a compound, I try to use 4 pads. One for trunk, roof, bumper, rear bumper, one for the hood and the front bumper, and one for each side. Just to keep them from clogging so fast and from, dragging contamination into the paint. Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to switch pads. Got a fresh one. Like I said, they're filthy. I got to clean them, but they're clean. They're just a little dirty. So we're going to go with, that was a 3,000. Oh, that was 3,500. I'm sorry. So that's done. 3,000. I don't think we need on this one. So we're going to use the Manzarno Top Finish Machine Glaze over this because there really isn't too many swirls on here. Paint actually looks pretty good. It's got some deeper scratches in it. Like I said, this isn't a show car, so we're not going to go too crazy polishing it out. But now looking at this compared to that, I'm still not sure you guys can see it, but I'll give you a better view later. Or even looking at the fender, the paint actually is pretty good for being 17 years old. So let's prime this pad, and then we'll give this a polish, and then we'll put some wax on it, and then we'll pull the tape and we'll do a comparison. You always prime on a low speed, about 10-15 seconds. Add a little more product, and then speed up. I usually use between speed 3 and 4 on this machine. It's really what you get that's comfortable. So it seems to work real good with these products and with most of the cars that I do. So let's polish this one up. Alright, so that's passed with the machine polish. Let's wipe it down. Always remember, when you're wiping any product off, always keep flipping your microfiber, sides fresh. You should always fold it so that you never really put too much pressure on it, because the microfiber itself will act as kind of a sponge to take up some of that weight that you're leaning on it. All right, looks pretty good. Got a little wax in the holes where the wing mounts, but other than that, get a towel. All right, I'm gonna put a little wax on here now. I'm a big fan of Colonite. I know there's a million different brands out there. I like Colonite 915. It's a paste wax. I do put it on with the machine though. So what we'll do is I switch to a white pad, which is the finest of the Roops pads. And I usually just take a little, I usually break it up if the canister's full, cut it, and I'll just take a little bit, rub it on the pad pretty evenly over the whole thing. And you don't need too much. You'd be surprised how far a little bit goes with this. Again, we're going to apply it the same way we applied the other stuff. This we don't need to push really too much, and we don't need to really work it in. It's gonna, the motion of the pad will get it into the paint. We'll let it glaze over, and then we'll take it off. We'll take a look. All right, we're gonna let that haze over, and we'll come back, we'll remove the wax, pull the tape, see what it looks like. All right, guys, we're back. So this is hazed over. I'm gonna remove the wax. Just nice, easy back and forth motion. Try to keep going in one direction. Prevent you from really putting any extra scratches in there, since you just went through all that trouble of taking them out. All right. I don't know if you can see the difference from there, but let me get the camera out. All right, guys, so we got the camera moved over here. Let's go over the paint, take a look and see the difference here. So you see a lot of these marks here. A lot of these marks were there on the other side. And then you can see right there the difference in color. And most of those marks around the wing are all gone. And we'll pull this tape. And you can see the real difference here in color. See how much deeper? It's got a lot more gloss in it. And this side is way more oxidized. A lot of scratches, especially there around the wing. I said, and that was only, you know, 15 minutes worth of work, and you can really see that line right there, between the two sides. So most of the scratches over here by the wing, where the wing was, there's still some there. I said you won't really see them with the wing back on, but it's a pretty big difference in just a couple easy steps. So I'm gonna stay in here in the garage, finish polishing the rest of this trunk. I'm gonna pick up a new hood, some new bumpers for this week, put them on. I'm gonna have to polish them too. Make a video about that. Make a video about polishing the rest of this car, because now I realize how bad the rest of it really is. And we'll put the wing back on with the risers. Got some more work to do to this. Like what you're seeing, plenty more videos coming. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get notifications of any new videos. Share it with your friends, help me build this channel up. Appreciate you watching, appreciate your time. See you guys soon.